Good evening and Happy New Year. I trust everyone had a safe New Year's Eve and welcome to 2024. It sometimes feels weird when you look back and think of all the New Year's celebrations you've had, and I have been doing some hindsight travel, and seeing what I've done in the last year has not been as much as I wanted to, and basically, I found myself very disappointed in what I did not get accomplished when everything is in place to do it. So, I tried to assess what got in the way of that, and I know what it is. One thing that I'm learning is there are always goals. Man, every time you start a new year at work or New Year, everybody's like, the goal. I mean, I have reading goals and journaling. I think that's something that people need to do every day regardless. So that should always be a goal. And that's something that I need to do better. I kind of hit and miss on that. However, I have learned and I'm seeing that part of the problem I have is when I have a plan in place, I let a lot of other things distract me and get in the way of that. I tend to say yes to too many things. I do not confront situations that I see are detrimental to being productive. I know it's factual, and because I sometimes feel less intelligent compared to certain circles I'm in, I don't say anything and then I react emotionally. Not a good plan. Not a good plan. You hear about everybody, there's going to be a million books coming out now telling you how to be successful in life and in business and all of those things. But all of them could probably even have good things to say, but they're not all the answer. So I just want to say, don't be hard on yourself, but at the same time, we really have to learn to be accountable. Kind of the I broke the egg concept, we can always blame the egg getting broken on somebody ran into me or somebody distracted me and I broke the egg. If I broke the egg, I broke the egg. I need to just say, hey, I broke the egg. I'm sorry, I'm cleaning it up. I'll do it. I'll focus on being more attentive and not break the egg next time. That seems to be the hardest thing to do. It's such a simple thing. And being able to even speak up and address things that should be addressed in my personal opinion, or which has relevance, and that voice should be heard just like anyone else's voice should be heard. Just to at least have that information out there, I have to put steps in place to get that conversation going. To get that conversation going, though, I need to have motivation to do it, and I need to have support for what I'm saying and why. And if I am wiggling too much in the video, I apologize. I have a hard time being still. So here goes. My issue personally is when I have wanted to get certain things done, you have the big planner, the grease board on the wall, you write out all the goals and the plans and the vision that you want to have. And it's not even a vision, because everybody's like to dream. I don't think that dreaming is good. And if you can dream, great. I don't dream well, but I do have hopes and I have desires for a better world for those around me and everybody I even don't know. I want to see everyone living in a better space in life. I'd like to see longevity, and then the time we have left in this world to be maximized with joy, hope, gratitude. And that involves a lot of things. There's spiritual aspects, there are emotional health, mental health, financial health. Let's be honest, it's part of the equation. Not to mention, just even being to keep a job these days, that's becoming an issue for certain companies as well. You hear about people losing their jobs. Companies are cutting people like crazy because, of course, the economy has required them to do so. So, I think to get where we want to go, not only do we need to set those goals and make a plan, we need to shorten up the plan. Instead of making it, this is what I want to do for the whole year. That's a big, big space. Shrink it down to smaller increments, quarterly or monthly or whatever it is. But before I even start with that, I need to have a personal vision for myself, because it'll drive us to execute all the steps that are and the objectives that need to happen in order to be successful. My goal this year is better mental health. I will not pretend that mental health isn't something I struggle with on occasion, because I do. Physical health, I think when I get that in check, my mental health in check, and I'm a healthy person. I am not healthy. I have nothing wrong with me. I'm not sick, none of those things. But I can do better with how I eat and what I put into my body, what I do to myself when I burn candles at both ends, when I don't get proper rest, when I make decisions that cost me time to do things that I should just be done and go home. In anything, in any task, in any project I take on, personal, business, crafting, whatever it is. Because what happens is I start and I get super consumed and I just go, and I don't stop, and then it's late, and then I'm behind on everything else, and then all of a sudden there's a mountain of things that aren't done that need to be done. And then I'm trying to get to those, but now I'm behind on something else because I pigeonhole myself into doing another thing. And then, of course, a purple squirrel comes across my path and I take care of that squirrel. And although it's satisfying at the time, I'm just grossly behind on everything else I want to accomplish. So this is going to be my hardest task to overcome, but I'm going to overcome it this year. And rather than making it a yearly plan, I'm going to do weekly and daily steps to help me get there. I just want to take control of my daily schedule. And I think that that's something that maybe a lot of us need to do. I've been listening, we live in a world where everybody wants you to multitask, but really that's not possible. The brain doesn't do that very well. And it's a tease sometimes in certain circles, because it's called task switching. You have to stop and do something else and go back to it. Well, there's a lack of productivity that is resulted by constantly interrupting a goal and an objective. So I think learning how to manage that time better is something I'm going to be working on. So it'll be just smaller goals, better at little things rather than doing everything. I mean, somebody made a comment one time, what can't you do? And I can do just about everything. I really can. If I have to build something, I can build it, and I will build it. I built it. If I have to create something, I can create something. If I have to make things out of nothing food-wise, I can do that. If I have to take care of somebody, I'm capable of doing that. I've done all of those things. But I've done them a lot of times at the expense of everything else around me. And there's always a wake of frustration that's behind me as I blaze through my little trail of life, thinking I'm doing all the right things. So I'm going to pause before I say yes. I'm going to say no, not now. Let me think about it. And I'm going to reduce commitments. There's a lot that I think you take on that you're flattered that you've been asked to do, but there are some decisions that you make because you don't want to let people down either. But I'm not letting people down. If it's really not for me to do, that's because someone else should be doing it, and that's the best person for that space and that position. And in doing so, I am honestly damaging that project. So it's a year of no's, and I'm not saying boundaries. I've been very good at setting boundaries this year. I'm very proud of myself for that. Learning you don't reside in the past. You can use past experiences to make better choices in the future, but don't live in them. And one thing I want to caution everybody about that I saw happening a lot, and it's needed. I mean, I think recognizing toxicity in any environment is important. And it's really easy to talk about it all the time, though. It's like, so toxic, so-and-so so toxic, this is so toxic, this is so toxic. Of course it is. But doing that makes it worse. So rather than promoting toxic, I'm going to not respond, not participate in conversations. I'm not going to I'm sorry people are having go on with what's happening in their life. We've all had horrible things happen. I've had friends who've lost their children this year. I've had friends who've lost both parents and a spouse. I mean, are we keeping score? I hope not, because it's been rough on a lot of people. It's also been great. There's so many good things that have happened. My personal growth, I look back, and in spite of all the chaos I've managed to create for myself at times, my personal growth has been exponential. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I can not take every single thing that is done around me, or that I would have at one time assumed was towards me, personal. Love it. It's such a freeing and experience and thought process to even be in. And to know and be confident in what I'm doing is right, or the right thing to do at the time when I'm in that space, that has been a good experience. So we have a lot of good things ahead of us. We need to just hang on to those good things, and maybe just write some things down, put it up where you see it, and don't, I'm not talking the giant vision boards and all those things. I think everything has its place depending on what you're doing at the time. But mine is just, you talk about detoxing the body, detoxing your space and your environment, and detoxing your life. I'm just going to remove the toxic load in my world. And it's not toxic in the respect that people are toxic. It's like everything in our environment is a toxic thing, it seems lately. And rather than that being the buzzword and giving it so much power, I'm taking that power away. I am not acknowledging toxic. It is there. I'm going to see it and know what it is and recognize it, but I'm not going to feed it. I'm just not going to do that. And I think that's something we can all do this year. It's so much healthier to get that out of our head and get that out of our mouth and get that out of our heart. And there are so many people out there we're missing out on that need that example, Yeah, they do. There are a lot of people out there that need our help. And I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in doing the other things that we forget about other people. So setting some concrete objectives. I'm going to complete each day. And if I don't, I'm going to put a time limit on some things. And if I don't get it done, then I'm going to move it on a scheduled time and I'll do it then. I'm not going to let it make me feel guilty or ashamed. I just don't think it's needed. So I wish that's the same for you guys. Something to do. This is not the answer for everybody, but this is something that I've discovered about myself because I screw up a lot. I have screwed up a lot in my life. I've made some serious bad choices. I have a broken picker. I'm not the official. I can't tell you how to do a lot of things successfully. I can tell you how to do a lot of things unsuccessfully, but hey, but I'm not going to dwell on that anymore. I'm going to move forward and I'm going to live each moment spreading love, grace, gratitude, kindness, which I talk about all the time, but I need to practice better myself. I'm going to do that. I have my faith. I'm held. And I know that. And I look back and I see that. It's physically evident that there are a lot of things that I've been protected from, and there are environments I've been in because I've been called to be there, that nothing bad has happened to me when most people would just be petrified. So I just want to thank God that I don't have fear. I don't have that fear. I respect environments and situations, but I don't live fearful. Because it's just, who wants to be terrorized all your life about things? I'm trusting that my children will be healthy, their marriages will all be healthy, my grandchildren will have good direction, make good choices. I don't want to be the one to do all the advising. If they want advice or they want to come to me, great, but I don't need to be the matriarch of anyone's family. I just want to manage my life as positively and as peacefully as possible. So, guys, I love you so much. I hope that you're all having a wonderful New Year's. And I hope that as we go into our evening and we've spent the first day of 2024, that we've not only reflected on what we've come out of, but what's out there that's potentially amazing. I think that in light of the future, it's still in our hands and we can make it great. It's really up to us to come together in community and do that. So I hope that's the truth for everybody. If not, I love you anyway. I wish you well. Grace to all of you. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. I wish we had a real winter day once in a while. I'm a little bit toasty, but that's okay. I love you all. Happy New Year. Bye-bye now.